I'm Harry Hobson, President and CEO of Plymouth Harbor.
And I'm Karen Novak, the Administrator for Strategic Health here at Plymouth Harbor as well.
Karen, Happy New Year. Happy 2022. I couldn't help but think over the weekend, 2 years ago, January, what we didn't know and what we have been experiencing over the last 2 years. And so much of it has to do with COVID and the pandemic. The good news is, even though we're seeing the positivity rates increase, we've got a lot more experience now. We've developed policies and procedures to manage the pandemic the best we can here on our campus. So that's the good news. And I know you're going to share with us some of the challenges we have right now, and also some of the precautions that we're going to be asking people to make sure they embrace once again to keep us as safe as possible. So Karen, why don't you begin, if you would, with a campus update?
Well, again, Happy New Year. It is happy because we know what to do now, unlike 2 years ago when it was all very new and COVID was a foreign word, I think, to the majority of people. But currently here in the United States, we're seeing our numbers escalate. And I have no doubt that Omicron is just taken off like a rocket. In the state of Florida alone, it's gone up over 900%. Here at Plymouth Harbor, we're starting to see some of that number increase as well. Currently, we have 23 team members that have been either exposed or positive. The positive team members, we have 11 of them, are all symptomatic. They've kind of feel lousy a little bit. They've got those achy bones and achy muscles, and they've got some congestion going on. So we're going to keep an eye on them. The CDC has given us new guidance too for our healthcare workers. So we'll be following that new guidance that has come out before they come back to work. We do have the rest of our team members, the 12 of them that have been exposed. They are not showing any kind of signs or symptoms thus far, but we are indeed keeping an eye on them and watching them for any kind of negative symptom whatsoever. We also have 3 of our residents in the ALF memory care area, as well as Smith Care, that are under observation. They are asymptomatic right now, no symptoms whatsoever. But 2, we are monitoring them for any kind of signs or symptoms, and their testing is negative thus far. But, Harry, again, we know so much more than what we have had in the past. So we really are a lot better off today than we were in 2020.
No question about it. And Karen, as I've been watching our numbers over the past week, it's interesting observation is our report is broken down by team members and also by residents. And to see the number of residents, 3, and those are only observation because of contact tracing, but see the number of team members that have had some degree of exposure, it's almost like looking at a controlled and an uncontrolled group, because the control group would be the residents. They live here. They're in a very, very safe environment. And I think those numbers are showing. Okay. From a team member perspective, we're circulating more out in the community. We're gathering with families offsite, et cetera. And I think that tells the story. So we just have to be so diligent as far as wearing our mask and honoring social distancing, so we can keep that number down as much as possible.
Without a doubt, those numbers are definitely reflective of our holidays. And I do anticipate those numbers to escalate again here in a couple of weeks. It is, a contributing factor, those social gatherings that we're seeing. Again, not just at Plymouth Harbor, but across the nation. I think you have been privy to seeing all those TV, on the news and the TV shows about everybody traveling. And again, it's that kind of coming and going and sharing organisms, if you will, with each other.
Karen, I want to make sure the residents, team members, and family members know that at this point in time, there are no plans to limit our visitation for vaccinated guests that come on this campus nor are there any plans to reduce or eliminate any services right now. It's pretty much life as usual. Now, what we do want to be sure is what I mentioned before, that everyone is extremely diligent in honoring social distancing, washing your hands, and wearing the mask. But what we are doing is, as of this morning, we're having no more in-person meetings. All of our team member meetings are going to be Zoom only, just to try to minimize any risk. I also had a conversation with the president of the Residents Association earlier today, Bill Johnston, and recommended the same thing with the Resident Association and with residents to take your, if you would please take your committee meetings back to Zooming and not have those in person at this time. So we want to be very, very sensitive to that.
Correct. And we're going to do our best to keep everything up and running unless those numbers reflect a dramatic change. But so far, our residents are looking really, really good.
Yes. Now, Karen, I know that our team members, our residents, were essentially 100% vaccinated. Not everyone has received the booster at this point in time, primarily from a team member perspective. So I know that you're working very closely with our partners at CVS to organize a booster clinic. Is that right?
That is correct. We're very fortunate to have a great relationship with CVS, and we are working with them day by day to see if we can't get another booster clinic here at Plymouth Harbor, hopefully for next week. But stay tuned. The logistics in getting that corporate kind of permission is sometimes a little bit more difficult than what we'd like. But we're tenacious, and we are dedicated to making sure that we've got the best environment for both the team members and our residents here at Plymouth Harbor. So we're going to stay on top of things and get that here.
Absolutely, we will. Karen, I'm looking over my agenda. I think we've covered everything today. We may end up doing, and I suspect we will, do a video later this week. Again, today is January 3rd. So by week's end, I think we'll give everybody another update where we are. So is there anything else you'd like to add?
Sure. When you're out in public, please remember, you don't know where everybody else has kind of gone or what they've been exposed to. So wear your mask. Here at Plymouth Harbor, we know COVID has been around for a long time, and some people are just getting tired of wearing those masks. But respectfully remind people to put on their mask while they're here at Plymouth Harbor. And sometimes it's a little uncomfortable to ask somebody to do that, but it really is the right thing. And if you don't want to approach someone, that's okay too. Just let one of us know at the leadership team, or call my office, and I'll be glad to go and sit and have a one-to-one to really explain the rationale of why we need to mask up here, especially when we're seeing these numbers just escalate, Harry.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, Karen, as we've said many, many times over the last couple of years, it's now time to don our mask. Thank you, everyone, for listening to our update today. Have a good day.